Imagine a normal Tuesday. You stop at a gas station. The price is higher than last month. You go to the supermarket. The same basket of groceries costs noticeably more. Your electricity bill arrives. It has increased again. Interest rates are up. Mortgage payments are heavier. Business loans are more expensive. Credit card debt hurts more. And then you check your investments. Stocks are moving sideways. Real estate feels uncertain. Crypto is volatile. Savings lose purchasing power to inflation. Nothing seems to be working the way it used to. Many people can't explain exactly why they feel anxious. They just feel that something is changing, and that feeling matters. For years, the world became accustomed to cheap money. Low interest rates encouraged borrowing. Governments spent heavily. Asset prices rose. Many people believed that markets would always recover quickly. But history moves in cycles. Periods of easy money are often followed by periods of tightening. Inflation forces central banks to raise rates. Debt becomes more expensive. Consumers slow down. Businesses become cautious. We are now living through one of those transitions. And transitions are where wealth is often transferred. Not created, transferred. Many people think losing money means seeing a lower number in their bank account. But there is another way to lose wealth. Your money buys less every year. Imagine you saved $100,000. If inflation remains high for several years, that same $100,000 may still be there numerically, but its purchasing power can be dramatically reduced. This is why inflation is often called a silent tax. It doesn't ask for permission. It slowly erodes the value of cash held without a plan. Now look beyond your own country. The world is facing multiple pressures at the same time. Geopolitical conflicts, energy insecurity, rising government debt, supply chain disruptions, slower global growth, rapid technological change, demographic challenges in many economies. Any one of these would be manageable. Together, they create uncertainty, and markets dislike uncertainty. What could happen next? No one can predict the future with certainty, but we can think in scenarios. Scenario 1. Persistent inflation. Prices remain elevated, interest rates stay higher for longer, consumers feel pressure, savings lose value if they don't earn enough. Scenario 2. Economic slowdown. Companies cut costs, hiring slows, some sectors experience layoffs, asset prices may weaken. Scenario 3. Financial volatility. Markets swing dramatically as investors react to news, policy changes, and global events. Scenario 4. A new growth cycle. Technology, especially AI, automation, and digital infrastructure, creates new opportunities, but the benefits may not be distributed evenly. The important question is not which scenario is guaranteed. The important question is, am I prepared for several possibilities? During uncertain times, many people do one of two things. They panic and make emotional decisions, or they ignore the situation completely. Both are dangerous. Panic destroys judgment. Denial destroys preparation. The goal is not fear. The goal is readiness. Historically, people who preserve wealth during turbulent periods tend to focus on a few principles. They maintain liquidity, they avoid excessive debt, they diversify, they think long-term, they control emotions. Notice what is not on the list: trying to get rich overnight. Before chasing high returns, build resilience. Ask yourself, if my income stopped for 6 months, could I stay calm? An emergency fund is not exciting, but in a crisis, it becomes freedom. Look for financial pressure points, high interest debt, oversized lifestyle expenses, dependence on a single income source, large fixed obligations. In stable times, these may seem manageable. In volatile times, they become dangerous. Cash is useful for safety, but over long periods, productive assets have historically helped people stay ahead of inflation. That may include broad stock market exposure, profitable businesses, real assets in the right circumstances, skills that increase earning power. The key word is productive. Assets that can generate value, not just look valuable. This may be the most overlooked protection of all. Economic systems change, technologies change, industries change. But the ability to learn, adapt, communicate, and solve problems remains incredibly valuable. In the next decade, many jobs will change dramatically. People who continue learning will have more options, and options are a form of wealth. During every crisis, headlines become louder. Fear spreads faster than facts. Some people sell everything at the worst moment. Others take reckless risks trying to recover losses. Wealth is often lost not because the world changed, but because people abandoned their plan. I believe the biggest challenge of the next decade will not be access to information. It will be emotional stability. Everyone will have opinions. Everyone will predict crashes or booms. Very few people will remain calm. The ability to think clearly when others panic may become one of the most valuable financial skills in the world. History has seen inflationary periods, banking crises, market crashes, wars, technological revolutions. And yet, people who prepared, adapted, and stayed disciplined often emerged stronger. The lesson is not that crises are good. The lesson is that unprepared people suffer the most.
If history teaches us anything, it's this.
Every period of uncertainty eventually gives way to a new chapter. The Great Depression reshaped industries. The financial crisis of 2008 changed the way people thought about debt, investing, and risk. The COVID-19 pandemic accelerated remote work, e-commerce, digital payments, and technologies that many believed would take another decade to become mainstream. Every crisis closes some doors, but it quietly opens others. The difficult part is that while most people are focused on what they are losing, very few are paying attention to what is beginning to emerge. Think about it. During periods of panic, assets are often sold not because they have lost all their value, but because people lose confidence. Businesses that looked invincible suddenly become vulnerable. Entire industries are forced to reinvent themselves. Consumer behavior changes. New technologies solve problems that didn't exist before. And that's when a new generation of entrepreneurs, investors, and innovators begins to rise. Not because they were lucky, because they were prepared. Preparation gives you something incredibly valuable during uncertain times. The ability to make decisions while others are frozen by fear. This doesn't mean taking reckless risks. It means having enough financial stability, emotional discipline, and long-term perspective to recognize opportunities that panic often hides. The people who benefit the most after difficult periods are rarely the ones with the highest income beforehand. They are often the ones who protected their resources, stayed patient, kept learning, and waited for the right moment to act. History doesn't simply reward intelligence, it rewards readiness.
Perhaps the biggest mistake people make
Is believing that the purpose of preparation is only to survive. Survival is important, but it is only the first step. The real question is, who will be ready when the recovery begins? Because recoveries don't wait for everyone. They reward those who still have options. If you've protected your finances, if you've avoided unnecessary debt, if you've continued developing valuable skills, if you've remained calm while others reacted emotionally, then when new opportunities appear, you'll be able to move while many people are still trying to recover. This has happened throughout history. After almost every major economic downturn, new companies have been built, new industries have emerged, new leaders have appeared. Some of today's most successful businesses were founded during or shortly after periods of recession, when resources were cheaper, competition was weaker, and unmet needs created room for innovation. The lesson is not that we should hope for difficult times.
No one wants hardship.
The lesson is that difficult times often reshape the economic landscape, and every new landscape creates new winners. The question is not whether change will happen. Change is inevitable. The question is whether you will meet that change with fear or with preparation. Start building your financial foundation today, not because you can predict tomorrow, but because you know tomorrow will not look exactly like today. Protect your capital, protect your health, protect your ability to keep learning, protect your peace of mind, because these are the assets that no market can easily take away. And remember this: storms don't last forever, but the decisions you make before the storm and while you're living through it can shape your life for decades after the skies become clear. So, don't spend all your energy trying to predict the next crisis. Spend it becoming the kind of person who is prepared for whatever comes next. Because when the next chapter of the economy begins, the greatest opportunities won't belong to those who were the smartest. They will belong to those who were ready. If this message resonated with you, don't wait for a crisis to start thinking differently. Start now. Protect what you've worked for. Build a financial life that can survive uncertainty. And remember, the goal is not to become rich during the storm. The goal is to make sure the storm cannot destroy you. If you found value in this video, subscribe to the channel and join a community that believes financial freedom begins with preparation, not panic. Because the future belongs to those who stay calm, stay informed, and stay ready.